Hello everyone, this is Zeeebo and welcome to this AFK journey video. So in today's AFK journey video, we're gonna do a featurette for Dionel, right? Venus of Dawn. So this unit, in my honest take, is a very wily unit because you need a lot of stats and tiers for this unit to unleash the full potential, right? In Paragon, this unit is really insane as you move up the Paragon tiers because of one line of stats known as the energy regen reduction, right? So we have this one. So energy regen reduction reduces the amount of energy the target recovers by 1% when receiving damage from the unit. So let's say if your Dionel is a very high Paragon tier unit, him being an aerial attacker that's able to reposition himself to do more damage to everyone in the team, because his attack hits multiple targets, right? This energy regen reduction thing is maximized based on his kit. So I'm gonna run through Dionel's kit and then explain why this unit is a very powerful primary carry, but at the same time also a very well kind of unit, because you need a lot of investment and a lot of focus on this unit. So let's start by talking about the ultimate. So Dawn Slide, Dionel soars into the air, cannot be targeted for 6 seconds, during which he attacks the area with the most enemies using Spear Thrust, dealing 170% damage to all adjacent enemies, and the last hit of Spear Thrust knocks the enemy into the air and his damage is increased by 250%. So increase in level increases the total damage. Also allows him to gain a Nectar Feast buff within the effect duration. Using this skill won't shorten its duration until the skill ends if Dionel has already been buffed. So Nectar Feast buff is the third skill over here. Later on we'll talk about it, but it's basically an additional attack buff for him if you haven't get the buff yet. And on top of that, right, the skill duration will be further extended by 2 seconds if Dionel achieve an assist or kill on an enemy. It trigger only once per casting. Okay, so this is really sick because it's a 33% increase in duration if you do manage to get a kill or assist. It's more basically he's invulnerable when he's using the ultimate. I will showcase you guys the ultimate later on. Basically he's invulnerable, and the additional 2 seconds also allow you to do more damage. So that's the strong part of this additional line. And even though it's only triggered once per casting, you can trigger it multiple times if you're using the ultimate multiple times. So quite sick extension, to be really honest. Like, it's a effectively 33% increase in damage output based on just like numbers, although there are other factors to be considered. Then we have Starry Void. So Dionel's normal attack turns into a penetration attack, dealing 140% damage to all enemies along the way. So increasing the levels increases the penetration attack damage and also gives him the ability to flash to a better attack positioning if not in a good spot, which triggers once every 6 seconds. So this is a flashing thing I'm not very familiar with because I don't use Dionel a lot, but based on what I observe as well as a few times that I'm playing against Dionel, this flashing thing basically allows Dionel to flash to a spot where his normal attack is effectively hitting at least 2 or 3 targets. So it's pretty optimal in an auto setting, because in auto, you like, okay, so if your enemy is using okay, so what I mean by it's good in auto, because in arena, right, there's offense and defense. So in defense, you put your Dionel there, your enemy will be like, this Dionel is placed here, so let's put our unit in this position so he cannot hit us or cannot maximize his AoE, right? Then the next thing you know, this Dionel will flash to the back line and then start hitting everybody. So positioning against Dionel is also really tough because like you can't actually play around him when he's able to optimize his attack pattern. So that's one thing that Dionel is really strong at as well. Then we have the third skill, Nectar Feast. So this is the very important part of his kit. Passive, he gains a stack of Intoxication when receiving non-permanent stat boost from an ally, increasing 15% attack and 15 attack speed up to 3 stacks, triggered once only by each ally. So there's an active part where he drinks the Divine Nectar to increase 20% attack and 20 attack speed for 12 seconds. Okay, so increase in level increases the numbers and buffs on both ends. One is from the ally side and one is on his side. So just now this skill mentioned that he's over here gains a Nectar Feast buff within the effect duration. Using this skill won't shorten its duration until the skill ends. Okay, so I'm not too sure. Okay, this part I'm really not very sure. Like, I'm not sure whether or not it's an additional active or is it an additional intoxication. I believe it's an additional active. But then again, I don't know whether or not if you already have a Divine Nectar active, is it a 2-time Nectar buff or is it a 1-time Nectar buff? But bar that, right, even if we don't take that into consideration, it's still a crazy skill in a sense. The total buff you get once you max this skill out is 18 times 3, that's 54%, and then you get a 25% when you cast the active itself. So that's nearly 80% attack percentage buff, and that's about 80 attack speed as well. So it's like, if you're able to do it, it's crazy. But one thing that is not like so good about this buff is that you really need a careful planning so that you benefit, because you need 3 other boosts, right? So one way you can get 1 boost is from the artifact, which is this one, Lightning Spell. So this is a non-permanent boost, right? This attack speed boost, and it complements really well with Dionel as well, because you give him the buff, and then that's 1 stack, and it is a good, I'll say, like battle starter. So that's one, and he doesn't get control when he gets the buff, but you still need 2 other good units to give the non-permanent stat boost. So right now there's not a lot of good supporter out there in PvP that provides this while being a good unit as well. So now the only really good ones are Dionel and maybe Scarlita in terms of the boost. Like you can use Laika, you can use Parisa, you can use Coco as well. Coco is okay, but Coco's buff only comes in the ultimate, so it might be a little bit too slow. But then again, I'll say that Dionel doesn't meet maximum stack for him to be effective, because he's still an amazing attacker even if you don't get maximum stack. But if you get the maximum stat, then you can actually benefit the Celestial Spear. So over here, Dionel summon, this is the EX weapon skill by the way, summons a light spear after a short delay, dealing 200% true damage to all enemies up to 3 casting per battle. The skill is only available when the own Intoxication is fully stacked. So you kind of need to fully stack it in order to see the full power of Dionel. This is an insanely powerful AoE skill, because increase in level further increases the damage, right? Dealing extra true damage up to 20% of the target's current HP, and also reducing the target's vitality by 60 in the next 8 seconds. Insane. Like this skill is also, I'll say, like a semi-ultimate level kind of skill, but it is built on the fact that you're able to get your Intoxication stack up. So that's why this unit's team building is a bit, I'll say, like the more challenging one, because right now I don't think there's a very consistent and OP support that provides non-permanent stat bars while being a good unit. Like other than Damien, other than Scarlita, but Damien's stat buff is only once per battle. So like after you use the first round, if you don't burst the enemy, then what do you do after that? Then for Scarlita's case, you need the shield to land on Dionel for you to get the buff. So there's also a little bit of inconsistency there. But right now, I think in a lot of the end game builds, people are running both Scarlita and Dionel, because Dionel will be a primary carry, right? You focus all the buffs on Dionel. But if Dionel doesn't carry you, then Scarlita will come down and carry you. So that's the role of a secondary carry, and Scarlita is one of the best there. So you also need a tank to protect Dionel, because this character's stats is not exactly the strongest in terms of defensive stats, as you guys can see. So I'll say like it's better than some of the rangers, but it's still very, very frail. And his EX weapon doesn't actually provide a lot of defensive stats. So it only has 1 line of HP. It gives attack percentages, attack speed, as well as defense penetration. So it's a fully offensive carry unit. And I'll say that Dionel is definitely without a doubt a whale level character, because number one, this unit is strong, but yeah, you need a team around him, like I mentioned multiple times. I think as we move further into the game, as we get more units released to complement with this unit, making it easier to form a team around him, he's like, I'll say like his cost of becoming a true carry will decrease. But right now you need like very specific units that's good to pair with him in order to make a good team. Like what is a good team? A good team is a team that's both consistent on the offense and defense. And I think Dionel is good on the offense right now, but less consistent on the defense. So that's what I mean by it's hard to make a good team, because this unit is good, okay? But you need a lot of thinking, a lot of team building, and you need the units to make him good, to make him look good, to make him the carry. So that's for Dionel's case. Right now, you can definitely do it, but it's easier if you're a whale. Like for normal players, if you build it out, you'll be like, why is he so weak? Like why is he not so wallet friendly? Okay, so let's start by showcasing him in 2 different game modes. I'll do it in arena. I have a few runs on this account, and I'm going to do it in dream realm. So luckily for us right now, this boss is Skyclops, which is very, very powerful for the AoE showcase. But when we go into the team building part, so this is the very first problem. Okay, so let's put it this way. We put here, and then we put Dionel. Okay, so we have a few non-permanent stat boosts. Okay, we will do 2 runs. So one is I'm going to swap in Dionel. So I give Dionel this buff from Reina. And at the same time, we will showcase this unit. Oh wait. I can't. If I want to use the attack speed buff, I can't. Okay, in this case, I can only use Starshot spell though. Okay, I don't think Rainer is good because Rainer is a permanent buff. Yeah, I'll use this opportunity to just showcase this unit with the buff supports of other units. Let's see. Do I have? I can use Koka. Hold on. Oh, I can use Koka for sure. Yeah, I can use Koka for sure. Yeah, I can use Koka for sure. The stat bars actually benefit the whole team. So we will do a comparison with Merrily. So you guys can see like what I mean by this unit is a little bit weaker. So the Merrily is also Supreme with 4 stars, so slightly higher compared to Dionel, but we are building a team to give Dionel like the potentially max damage. So I'm gonna give this Enlightening spell. Obviously not the most optimal, but it's to trigger the Intoxication stack. So without further ado, let's start the battle. So I'll explain the first battle and then I will speed up the second one once you guys know the mechanic. So you guys see this tree leaf thing behind him. So that represents the amount of stack that this unit is getting up. So now this is the ultimate, by the way. So this ultimate is like a mini AoE thing where he keeps on throwing. So if he kills the enemy there, he will be able to get the additional duration in terms of the PvP side. So I'll showcase it later. Okay. But right now, I'll say that this Dionel is pretty much at the max buff possible. That this is where he repositions, as you guys can see. So he tries to reposition so he can hit at least 2 or 3 targets. So the flash is over here. I'll try to explain his kit based on this battle first, and then I will do a speed run for the one later on. So we have a few buffs on him. So one, we have Coco's buff. Next, we have Smokey's buff. So this is the repositioning. Then at the start of the battle, we had the Enlightening spell buff. So Enlightening spell allows him to build up his attack speed stack based on the hero focus, which I kind of forget just now. But his hero focus allows him to increase his own attack speed when he attacks the enemy itself. Okay. Okay. Yeah, so this is the end of the damage. Let's take a look at the damage distribution for the units. Okay. So you can see that it's not even like his normal damage. So his highest damage is like I think 50 plus million. So using Dionel definitely drop our damage output. But you guys can see, right? Even if you build a team around Dionel's case, his single target damage output doesn't even outskill Merrily. Right, you guys are thinking, oh yeah, this Zeeebo trying to make this unit look weak. No, it's because this unit's single target damage is just not as good. He's an AoE attacker. And I can showcase this run, but this time around using the buff on Merrily instead for this Enlightening spell. So you guys can see a difference. This Enlightening spell is a massive boost to whatever unit is trying to boost, at least in the first 20 seconds of the duration. So that's the thing. And then for Dionel's case, just now I mentioned the hero focus is this one. So his normal attack permanently increases his attack speed by 3 during battle. So further increase in levels increases the boost to 5 and then the stack to 50. So basically the increase in attack speed at the start of the battle with this artifact and Enlightening spell allows you to build up a stack really quickly, so making him like this mega built up powerhouse, you know, the faster you attack. Okay, so now we'll try with this build, exact same team, but with Merrily. I'm going to speed up this run. Okay, so we are at the end of the battle, and as you guys can see, we got slightly better numbers, and that's because Merrily hit way harder. You guys can see the difference itself, right? So as a bossing unit, I think Dionel is slightly lacking, even if you do decide to build a team around him. But another thing which I kind of forgot to mention for this unit is that for Dionel's case, right, let's go into his stack. So here, so this passive part of his skill, right, is a permanent buff at the start of the battle. So you just need 3 different types of buff that is non-permanent for him to get the permanent attack buff as well as the attack speed buff. So the leaves behind him doesn't go away. So just now we had Smokey and Murky. right? We had the Coco's ultimate buff, we have obviously the enhancer spell, and on top of that, we also had Scarlita's shield, which will also add stats to him, which will allow him to get this stack. So basically, this is an immediate attack speed, basically immediate offensive buff at the start of the battle, because if you can fulfill the condition of having 3 different non-permanent stat from 3 different allies or 3 different sources, then you get the maximum buff, which makes this unit OP. So that's the 3 leaf at the back at the start of the battle. So for the Celestial Spear, you need all the stacks in order for it to proc, because you need the own Intoxication to be fully stacked in order to see his full potential. So that's why for team building side, you have to take this buffing him to consideration when you want to build your team around Dionel. And in the Dream Realm side of things, personally, I don't think Dionel is a good unit. Previously, they have him over here, but honestly speaking, all their recommendation over here is pretty shitty except for Smokey, because none of these units they hit as hard as the current meta units, and now these units actually do AoE consistently, right? Like their AoE is pretty much in their ultimate. So what if the summons appear when the ultimate is not up or not ready? Then what do you do? So that's one thing about this recommendation, but still it's a recommendation, so CCL can be used. My daily CCL bashing, like for those of you guys who enjoy that kind of thing, yeah, daily CCL bashing, no good, don't bother. So yeah, for Dionel's case, same thing. I think this unit is good more so for the PvP side of things. I do see some people trying to use this unit for 12 Abyss, but I think this unit is quite stats reliant in a sense. If you're playing understated, he's not as strong in my honest opinion. Okay, so that's for the Dream Realm showcase and a little bit of explanation. Next, let's move on to the arena side of things. Okay, give me a moment before I start. I'm gonna reply some messages first. Okay, so for the arena side of things, okay, so we're gonna challenge. I'm gonna use like I'll say like 3 different challenge to test things out. Let's see whether or not I can attack this person. Okay, we try attacking other people. Okay, let's attack this Iron Carolina combo. Okay, but this guy is a full Supreme team, so I'm probably not gonna feel the Paragon side of things. Let's do this. We're gonna put Dionel as the main carry, so we put Dionel here. Put Dionel here. Okay, maybe here, because I want to link him to Torrent to protect him. Yeah. Okay, I tell you what, we do this. Then we have Scarlita here, I guess, and then we have I'm gonna put Scarlita here because he'll fly up and then this buff will benefit Dionel. Yeah, let's put, I think the last one is Nehru, I think. Yeah, okay, we do this. Okay, so let's start. I'll go at one time and explain how this thing works. So we immediately use the ultimate on our dear Dionel, right? Oh wait, it buffs up the... Oh, I don't think I'm getting... Am I getting the buff? Oh shit, I messed up. I'm only getting 1 buff, so you guys can see the blades behind him, right? So I thought that he'll be getting the artifact buff, the enlightening spell. It's fine, later on we'll try again, but we'll reposition so that you guys can see it for yourself how it was. Okay, it's a very bad display for Dionel's ability. So sorry about that, boys. So sorry about that, ladies. I messed up. I thought the enlightening spell was buff Dionel. Yeah, so he gets 1 buff from... Did he get a buff from Scarlita? I don't even think he got a buff from Scarlita, unfortunately. But yeah, this is the ultimate, as you guys can see. So he managed to survive. Nero's there to keep this unit healthy. Right, Nero's there to keep this unit healthy. But he already passed away once. He's just surviving off the spirit form. Yeah, we lost this, unfortunately. Just gonna go at 2 times, okay? Gonna go for another round. Another round of testing, guys. I'm so sorry. I lost so much points for my friends. Okay. Let's this guy again. We attack the same guy again, but this time around we need a little bit of careful planning. I'm gonna do this. Do I want a more, I'll say like consistent source of buff? I think Laika is okay. yeah, we will use Laika to showcase him. Okay, so Scarletta, maybe I'll just put her at the front. I put here. So this way I'll get the max buff. Okay, let's just take a look at this one. So we have Dionel, so it starts everybody together. So Dionel gets the attack speed buff, as you guys can see. So he has all the 3 buff because Laika's buff as well as Damien's buff fully utilized. So you guys can see the amount of damage output that this unit does. So the whole battle just like ended. Holy crap. Okay, let's replay this at one time. Okay, everything happened way too fast. Okay, so Aro uses the ultimate, it brings everybody together, but Dionel has the artifact buff, the and the enlightening spell, so he's not controlled. And then you got Laika's buff, which is 1 stack of non-permanent step boost. And then we have our dear Damien's haste buff as well, so he gets his 3 stack up really quickly with the 3 blades behind him, and then he just start annihilating the enemy's team. Okay, I think this team is not exactly the strongest, right? The stat is not exactly the strongest, so we will hit somebody of a more equal stat to test things out. Okay, I'll explain it to them later on. So we have 834, 840 versus 834, right? So this is the very commonly used Iron Ardent combo with, I'll say, close to equal stats. So this time around, hopefully we have a more powerful showcase of this team. Okay, so let's start. We'll go at one time. Suck everybody together. Okay, and then he gets all the buff, as you guys can see. So the 3 blades behind him, the 3 golden things, so he gets the mixed stat. And then that's the EX weapon skill, the burst on everybody. Okay, you guys can see the damage output that this unit is dealing out. Okay, and then he's gonna use his ultimate, pump. Like, and okay, during this duration when he's using the ultimate, is invulnerable as well, so your enemies cannot touch him, while he's able to gain additional duration if he managed to snipe somebody off. So over here you guys can see he's doing job here. It's crazy, right? Like it's so crazy to think that this unit has this sort of power. So if you take a look at the final damage distribution, right, you can see this damage output that this Dionel outputted. I personally think that Dionel is way more OP the higher tier you are because of the Paragon stats, but even at Supreme Plus, he really made a showing for himself. So I'll say like the 2 things you need to overcome is to have decent units providing the stats boost while having your Dionel at a really high stat. So you need to invest quite a bit in order to get the resources to, number 1, build up Reina first, and then maybe build up Dionel as your second Celestial / Hippogene unit. So that's it for this Dionel showcase and explanation. Hopefully this is helpful and you guys like to see this sort of hero focused content, and I'll see you guys again in my next AFK journey video. Bye guys!